Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about this Piranha tooth bar. You can get them for whatever tractor you want, I think, for the most part, but I have this on my Kubota BX, and I wanted to just talk about it, and then I'll show you a clip of me using it on a project I was on. This thing, I can't remember exactly how much it cost. I'll put it on the screen of how much it cost, but it was relatively affordable, and it definitely brought out a better side of the bucket. It allowed me to dig easier through soil, as well as, when you're actually trying to, if you were just trying to do a light scraping on top of the soil, you can actually take these teeth and you could just turn the bucket straight up and down with the teeth, on top of the ground, and kind of just pull back, and it just kind of do like a light raking. But obviously this bucket weighs more than a hard rake and stuff like that, so it just makes it a little bit easier. You can see I've been using it, and to do some dirt digging. I was moving some dirt around over there, and then the clip that I'm going to show you is basically just a different purpose for this Piranha tooth bar. I know there's other tooth bars out there that just pretty much have just like teeth every so often, but since this has different kinds of teeth, and it's got this edge like this, where it's almost like a like a one-sided blade. So the clip I'm going to show you is me taking out some old, it's basically juniper shrubs or whatever, and basically I'm just trying to clean it out so I can re-landscape the bed. And so this, I just was able to set it flat on the ground, and it just kind of cut right through. And then where the bucket has these small teeth right here, where this is, that is a bonus, versus like these end pieces right here don't have that. But this right here, when you get the, if you were just trying to take out some underbrush, like small stuff like that, if you were just going to scrape along the bottom of it, there's a good chance that this is just going to cut it, or it's going to grab onto it, and you're going to be able to just pull it out, pull out the whatever stump you could call it. It's not really like a stump, I guess you could pull out the root system, is what I'm trying to say. But I think BExpanded.com sells this. I think that's where I got it from. I'm sure maybe you could get it from somewhere else, but they send you instructions on installing it. It actually might be a BExpanded product. Not 100% on that, but you just have to, the only difficult part about installing this is the hole that you need to drill right here on both sides. There's one right there, one right here. It needs to be 3/4 inch. So as far as I can remember, I think that's what it was, 3/4 inch. I remember I had to go get a step drill bit, which I don't have one right in front of me. Basically it's like a conical drill bit, and that's one way. Or I decided to go that way. It was probably about $40 for that bit. I think you can get one around 20 or 30, but it just depends on what material it's made out of. But you need to drill the holes through the bucket, and I decided to get that instead of getting just, I could have got just a drill bit of that exact size, but then I would have been limited to only drilling holes that big, and it's not very often I need to drill holes that big, but I can still use a step drill bit for other projects. So that's kind of how I justified buying that, unless you know somebody that has one. But yeah, I mean, that's the only difficult part. They give you all the hardware, and they give you instructions on installing it. Basically, you need to, that side's a little caked up, but basically you need to drill the hole. They tell you to install it. It has these little stabilizer teeth here that keep it from, if you were trying to lift with it, it keeps it from pulling off the bucket. And these pieces right here are guides. They go on the inside of the bucket, and then as for instance, if you take this off and you use your actual bucket without it, as this wears down, you need to be able to move this piece behind here behind this washer is actually slotted. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches where it's slotted. That way it just gives you the ability to move it around. And so they do sell the tooth bars for different size buckets as far as I know. So this is one for a 48-inch, and you know, yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as what it is. It's pretty straightforward, but you know, it's a little bit different than a normal tooth bar. So I'm going to insert that clip. so you just watched that clip and you saw how it worked. It did a pretty good job as far as cleaning it up. I didn't have to get in there too much with a shovel. I did have to use a shovel a little bit just to find, get the fine stuff out of there. That was pretty much just like weeds. It wasn't really, the juniper. It kind of just scraped all that up, and I was able to pile it up. And yeah, I'll put a finished picture of the project. Basically, I just took all that out and reinstalled some new shrubs and some mulch and stuff like that. So you can kind of see the difference where, that before and after of the juniper, and it allowed me to do less manual labor, which is basically the reason I got this tractor, was that way I didn't have to worry about doing a whole bunch of manual labor. But if you have a Piranha tooth bar on your tractor, I'd love to hear your comments. Maybe some tips and tricks about what you do to, get a variety of tasks out of it. Like I said, I use it for digging and cleaning off that other stuff, like underbrush or small. Like if you had some small saplings, like an inch and a half, you could probably just run up to them with this, pull it right out. But yeah, not going to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you watching, and I'd love to hear your comments. Thanks. Alright, so I actually screwed up, and I forgot to hit the record button, but I was going to show you this. I actually just got done doing this, and this can be a little bonus clip. This was, just some kind of scrub tree that was back here, and I didn't want it, but I couldn't bush hog it because it's too thick. It's probably about 3 or 4 inches in diameter down at the bottom, and it was probably 10 feet tall or something like that. And so you can see I just was able to, granted this is not a hardwood tree or anything like that, but still, just to show that, I was able to just kind of rip this stuff out. Hopefully the lighting's not too bad, but, like for this spot right here, this thing was just standing all by itself. And I just put the bucket down there and boom, popped the whole thing out. And the teeth helped grab onto it and make easy work of that. So I don't have to get out a chainsaw or anything like that. I can just go get my grapple, grab onto all this stuff, and put it in the burn pile.